This is Jazz Brown.
This is Craig Hancock.
And this doesn't matter.
This is the show where we define and explore a specific microgenre for the benefit of no one. This week,
Punksploitation.
1, 2, 3,
go.
Just where is our future? The things we've done and said. Let's just push the button. We'd be better off dead. 'Cause I hate you, and I berate you, and I can't wait to get to you. The sins of all the fathers, presumption and all the sons. The only choice we're given is how many megatons. Blowing all the bloody fucking hell.
Craig,
Jazz.
what's exploitation?
Exploitation is a film intended to attract an audience by means of sensational or controversial content.
I knew you had it in you. So we're talking about Punksploitation. It's the punk rock version of that. There's been all kinds of exploitation films. Blaxploitation, nunsploitation.
Nazi-sploitation?
Wasn't going to say it, but that's on you now. So this is Punksploitation. This is the exploitation of the visual and mostly visual aspect of punk
Yeah,
rock.
pretty much purely.
We're never talking about the ethos of punk rock. We're talking
No.
about just that punks look scary.
Punks look weird.
Right.
They're the end of society as we know it.
Perfect.
What's the matter with kids today?
They're punk rockers. That's the problem. Here, at This Doesn't Matter, what we like to do is define a microgenre. And one of the ways we do that is by looking at the tropes of any given microgenre. And this week, we're talking about the tropes of Punksploitation. Trope number 1. Hit me, Craig.
Punk names. You gotta have a crazy punk name.
That's how you prove you're punk. With a goofy name like Razorblade.
Or Scud Face.
2000 Fleshes Punk.
Not Rocket.
Rough Trade Dude.
Warthog.
But Razor.
Not my fault, Ripper!
Trope number 2. Over the top, super extreme face makeup.
Gotta have shit all over your face.
Just
Lines, preferably, running across your face.
like a Missing Persons album.
So punks had makeup in real life.
Sure, absolutely.
But this is not that.
Essentially, that's what exploitation is all about. You're taking a real idea and you're cranking it up to
Heightening
1,000.
it. Yeah.
That's what you do. You put a bunch of shit on your face.
Have some shit on your face.
I am burping.
Yeah, I'm real
A
gassy.
lot.
Real gassy.
What did I eat for dinner?
I had pizza.
Hey! Craig, trope number 3.
Punks are dumb, idiot criminals.
Stupid dum-dum heads.
You've got ugly, lazy, and disrespectful.
Yeah, they're so multifaceted trope here.
Right.
Part A,
They're dangerous.
they're criminals. They got a switchblade, they're mugging you.
Who knows what they're going to do?
Also, they're stupid.
They're stupid as
so
fuck.
they're not good criminals.
Right.
They're not organized.
And what's more dangerous than a dumb, dangerous person?
Exactly. Yeah. So they're unpredictable, chaotic, and sort of bad at being a criminal.
What are you, a nut? I'm a vegetarian.
Stupid.
Yeah, idiots.
Trope number 4.
Dangly shit.
You gotta have shit just dangling off. You have to feel the oppression of the man with all the weight of the shit hanging off your earlobes and your nose and your neck.
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.
So there might have been a punk that had a safety pin in their ear
Sure.
in real life. In Punksploitation, it's just dangling all over your
There's
face.
shit you've got
Yeah.
hubcaps around your neck.
Yeah, suspenders like all over you.
You've got a vice hanging from your shoulder.
Yeah,
You want to be punk, hang a lot of shit.
yeah,
Great job.
it's good.
Got a little buzz going here.
Yeah, feeling good.
Stack them up.
We understand Punksploitation now.
Let's just run down. Let's run down some Punksploitation films, Craig.
Demons.
Top of the dome. Dome me some Punksploitation films.
Demons.
Demons, good one. Class of Nukem High.
You mean Class of 1984?
Also, Class of 1984.
Does Repo Man count?
Repo Man counts.
Society made me what I am. That's bullshit. You're a white suburban punk, just like me.
There's movies that have Punksploitation elements. Does that make it a Punksploitation film? Because Back to the Beach is a Frankie and Annette movie for the modern era.
Well, sure. I mean,
but it has a heavy Punksploitation vibe to it.
Clear Punksploitation films are few and far between. Class of Nukem High, not a Punksploitation film.
No, though I would say
it's a
Class of 1984.
It's a treatise on the terrors of nuclear power.
Yeah, and Class of 1984, though has a pretty heavy Punksploitation vibe to it, is really a teacher nightmare film. About the how hard it is to be a substitute teacher.
It's Stand and Deliver.
Except with punks. So we're talking about movies that are pretty pure Punksploitation versus characters that show up in a film that fit the Punksploitation tropes.
So hit me with some more.
Terminator.
One
of my favorites. Punksploitation. Bill Paxton is the ultimate Punksploitation character.
They just took his straight up normal hair and put some horns in.
Like, he literally talks like, goo! Like, that is his performance of a punk.
Yes.
And he has, like, fucking tire tracks painted on his face.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My other favorite Punksploitation moment, if we're counting those, is the punk in Star Trek 4.
I think if you're thinking about Punksploitation in film, one of the first things I think of is Star Trek.
The image of, like, what a Punksploitation character is that guy on the bus in Star Trek 4. I'll wait till your love comes running, coming straight for your heart. Co-written by Michael McDonald.
Oh, wow.
Can't you tell?
So every week, once we define our microgenre, once we talk about the tropes of said microgenre, we're going to feature a film and see how it fits within that microgenre. This week, our feature film is Dead End Drive-In.
Dead End Drive-In.
Complicated
little flick.
And it wouldn't, at first I think it would seem to maybe not fit, but I think upon closer examination, I think it fits right in there.
Sure.
Trope number 1, punk names.
Punk names. Main character's name is Krabs.
Krabs isn't really punk, but there is a character with a nickname.
And he thought he had him once, but he didn't.
That's true.
You gotta know where your camera, you gotta make love to the camera, Craig.
I don't know what to say to that.
Staring vacantly at the camera.
Trope 2. Crazy makeup.
Was that trope number 2?
Wasn't it?
I don't know. It's got makeup.
A lot of people are wearing makeup in the movie. It's
got makeup.
And it's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
It's pretty over the top.
They're totally doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Trope number 3.
Dumb idiot criminals.
I mean, the whole reason all of them are in there is because they're dumb idiot criminals. That's true. The one guy he fights with the big long mullet, I think that guy totally classifies.
Which car?
Yeah, and I think also one of the bad guys of the film is a gang of dumb idiot criminal punk-looking guys called the Carboys.
Hey, fuck us. Want to sell your shoes?
Yep.
So I think they fit perfectly. They're kind of dopey, punk-looking, and they're a criminal gang. So
yep.
I think it's right in there.
That fits. Shit dangling.
There's a guy with a fucking hubcap.
There's a lot of shit dangling in this movie.
There's a guy with a fucking hubcap. I can't say hubcap. There's a guy with a fucking hubcap. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There is a guy with a fucking hubcap hanging from his chest.
That's shit dangling.
That is shit dangling.
There's
we haven't seen.
He's bearing the weight of what it takes to fight against the man.
So there's shit dangling.
To fight against the man. I was trying to get in character. The film.
That's your Australian accent.
Mean. Right?
I don't know how you'd say man.
If you have a problem with my Australian accent, write into the P.O. box, which is right here.
Except it's not gonna be.
Mean.
That's terrible. That's a terrible accent.
That's right?
No, not even close.
Let's talk about this movie a little bit.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Where do you start when you talk about a movie?
The plot?
Hello. It has recently come to my attention that throughout the entire duration of this video, never once do we actually talk about what this movie is about. In an attempt to remedy this oversight, I will now read to you from the back cover of the VHS release of Dead End Drive-In. In the not-too-distant future, inflation is running wild. Unemployment has reached epidemic proportions, the streets are ruled by sinister hooligans, and a trip to the drive-in may just be your last. When Jimmy Krebs Rossini's car stalls in the Star Drive-In, he finds himself in a bizarre and frightening situation. Around him is a scrap heap for society's cast-offs, a government-sponsored concentration camp where the weak and unemployed are fed a steady diet of junk food, music, and movies. For most, the drive-in is a sanctuary from the harsh realities of the outside world, but for Krabs, it is a horrifying prison. Captivity triggers in Krabs a new sense of purpose, and suddenly the will to choose his own future becomes an obsession and the desire to escape a burning necessity. But can he break loose from the numbing mind control of Dead End Drive-In?
Okay, so this flick, Dead End Drive-In, was directed by a dude named Brian Trenchard Smith. And this gentleman is still working. Just put out a movie with John Cusack just a few years ago called Drive Hard. Mm-hmm. He also did Leprechaun 3.
The best one.
The best of the Leprechauns.
That's not true.
He did BMX Bandits.
BMX Bandits.
With maybe Nicole Kidman's first film?
Well, I don't know if it's her first, but it definitely has Nicole Kidman in it.
It definitely does. He did Demons 2.
He did?
Excuse me. Night of the Demons 2.
Uh-huh.
He did some episodes of Silk Stockings.
So hot.
So hot.
You got to talk about Road Warrior in a lot of ways. It's sort of that post-apocalyptic punk.
Sure.
So they're punks after the world has fallen to shit.
Post-apoca punk.
It's got the car culture shit that Road Warrior has. Lots of cars crashing. It's a very car-centric world.
Let me stop you right there, Craig. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things that I like to talk about and explore is how the Australian filmmakers of the time really kind of did car films kind of better than America was doing
at this time, the time this movie's made. That's probably true. So unlike other Punksploitation films, it does something different with punk. It doesn't just say punks are a sign of society falling apart. In this movie, society already has kind of fallen apart.
Sure.
And it kind of like lumps punks in with the rest of society. They just watch shitty movies and they eat crappy food and they gang up together to get along in this society, just like everybody else. So it sort of makes punks like the rest of us.
It kind of feels like a guy who is just outside of the hippie generation, not getting it. Like oh, they're just a bunch of nihilists. They don't care about anything. They don't care about each other because they have terrible relationships with each other.
Yeah.
They're dumb, dangerous criminals.
Yeah. This is a little more thoughtful of a movie than I think a lot of movies that use sort of punky people. It's a little more thought out. It has a little more of a social critique.
Punky People is my new sitcom. It's going to be premiering on ABC.
1, 2, 3. Oh.
Go on.
God, you're fat. Dead End Drive-In. Fits the tropes. A little more thoughtful. Lots of action. Some great car chases and car stunts. I'm not even like enjoying it. You're just wolfing it down.
And I mean, it's ostensibly an escape film. It's Die Hard.
Yeah.
It's
The Great Escape.
whatever. Like essentially, your main character is put in this world that he has to get out of.
It's a genre film that is meant to be really fun. It kind of says we're placated by these dumb genre movies.
Right.
We're placated by shitty food and drugs and drinking, and we're put in our place by the police and the authorities and the people that control us. And it's all about this character wanting to reject and break out of all of that.
Absolutely.
And that makes it almost sound smarter than it actually is. But that's the subtext of this whole movie. So it does all of that while giving you the biggest car jump, great car chases, colorful characters.
It's also a good looking movie. Like
Great looking movie.
Visually, visually, it's a very pretty film. The set design's great.
Lighting.
As far as lighting and color goes, it's amazing. As far as the editing goes, it's fucking sharp and well done. If you enjoy 80s films or 80s aesthetic, watch this movie. If you're from the 80s and just happen to miss it, watch it because it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's super fun. It looks great. It does a ton of stuff. It's great.
It's great.
Totally great. You should totally watch
It's
it.
a great movie. Watch a movie.
Watch that movie. We thought about dumb stuff way too much or not enough, oddly.
And we just talked about it like a couple of dickholes.
Yeah, while we drank too many beers to the point where I can't really talk anymore.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
I wouldn't know.
You're a great friend.
You're a great pal. Just a couple of pals.
Pelling around.
Just a couple pals palling out about movies. You like to pal about movies? Right into this P.O. box right here.
It's not going to show up. We're pointing at nothing because he won't edit it in there. That was hard to say.
Also, we don't have a P.O. box.
No. That's a better point. Watch this movie. It's super great. We didn't...
I'm not ready.
It's a great movie and you should watch it. And it's super punk.
Dude, it's so punks.
I almost threw up. Let's wrap this baby up. Let's land this airplane.
It sucks.
Oh my god, that was terrible. Why did we do that? This is Josh Brown.
This is Craig Hancock.
This doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all.